Right, welcome back to the Barber Pod sessions. We are on our third cohort of barbers and we're joined by Michael here. Michael, do you want to say hello and tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Michael, also known as MJOSECUTZ. I'm working with Hair Force One and today's my first time with Barber Connect. I've been cutting hair for roughly just under a year now and I'm very excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited for this because you are confident and cool. Yeah, let's go. So you've been in the industry less than a year and you're here already. What's going on? Tell us, like, how did you get into barbering?
So I had my fair share of experiences at the barber shop and I just got tired of waiting. I was a bit fussy and I just said to myself, why not just take on the challenge? And then from there, I teamed up with Hair Force One. That kind of helped give me the platform to get to where I am today, and fortunately enough, the progression led me here.
I love that. And so you were passionate about hair before you started cutting it yourself?
Yes, I was very much, because I kind of saw barbering as more than just cutting hair, also an art as well. So for me, that stood out for me, and I just wanted to create my own kind of art. So I took it on.
I love this. You are sick. Yeah.
You're going to go far, kid.
You are going to go far. So do you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing today? I can see we're at the start of what appears to be a skin fade. So what's your plan?
Yeah, so my plan is to do a mid-skin fade, to be exact, and to line it up as well after, and maybe keep a bit of length on the top.
And do you find it where you work, you are doing more Afro-Caribbean hair, or are we all over?
I'm doing at the moment I'm doing Afro-Caribbean hair, but I am also doing all over, as my company's ethos is to do all hair types. So that includes straight hair, Afro hair, and curly hair.
Yeah, I mean, you can get some real good looks when it comes to like Asian hair, you can make that pop. Do you get a lot of that in your shop?
Yes, we do, we get the whole mix. Fortunately enough, our shop's very diverse, and I happen to work in a very diverse shop that also has a very diverse ethos, which is again to cut all hair types. And I'm fortunate enough to be part of this.
Love that. You're obviously quite a good speaker as well. What did you do before barbering?
So I went to university where I studied sports and exercise science, and I graduated in a bachelor's degree in sports and exercise science.
I think I'm obsessed. I just want to hop back over to you. A year in the industry, how have you got so good so quick? What are the skills that you've been harnessing?
I think I've gotten so far in where I am right now due to the good team I have around me, in terms of them wanting me to challenge myself consistently. Every single time I get into the shop, they're throwing customers at me, telling me just to give it a crack. And for me, I think it's more so of a mindset rather than anything else. So I just try to believe I can do all kind of hair types, and I just stick to it, and I just keep putting myself to it. So I think that's a test of the results I'm fortunate enough to receive right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mindset is everything. If you think you can, you will, and if you think you can't, you will, and that's the outcome. What do you feel like is the most important way for you to get your clients? Are you big on social media?
Yes, I am. I think it's a range of different things, but I will say definitely social media is a key figure in today's society. So I'll say definitely trying to expand your brand and build something.
Yeah, and when you say expand your brand, I mean anyone can post their haircut, but it's getting that traction, getting seen, and people buy people, they don't just buy the haircut. What do you think you have to present yourself as a barber, as a human, online, as someone who's working with other human beings?
I think the main thing, if I can say this, is for people to find their personality and try to mix it within the craft, and try and see what that connection can be, So fortunately enough for myself, I try to speak to my customers, my clients, from an actual genuine life point of view and ask how their day is going, see what they're into. And a lot of us key into football things, so we kind of chime in already from that kind of perspective. So yeah, I would say also your personality.
And do you find being a younger barber that opens the same doors for those vulnerable conversations? Do your clients open up to you? Obviously, it's quite an intimate experience cutting hair, and I find my clients do really open up about mental health problems and all of that kind of thing. I can imagine your energy is very, very easy to talk to, and I'd imagine your clients find that as well.
Yes, fortunately enough, yeah, my clients are very open to speak with me, as I connect to them from not just a physical standpoint of view, but even an emotional and spiritual standpoint of view. So we're able to speak on many different kind of things, whether it's country relative or it's just day to day what we can do as a society to get past certain challenges and barriers.
In it, and what a privilege that is. What a privilege. So, outside of cutting hair, when you're gaining inspiration for into the shop, what do you draw your inspiration from? So for me, it's like punk, metal, kind of the mod eras. That's where I'll get my inspiration. I'll pour it into my haircuts. Where do you find your inspiration?
I find mine from cultures, to be honest, because I am quite big in learning languages. So every time, I also find that the UK, London specifically, as I live in London, to have a very mixed, diversing pot of different cultures. So every time I'm coming to a shop and I'm meeting a new customer, I'm like, what could be in store today for me to learn from them? You know, as I'm a very curious person naturally.
Yeah, I love that. Learn your clients are your inspiration, their cultures and who they are. That's amazing. Try and talk a bit about what you're doing here. So for people that don't do Afro-Caribbean hair, I can see that you're going down on the hair. So why would you do that?
I'm doing that to straighten up the hair so I can blend and fade into it a bit easier. As with Afro-Caribbean hair, you can tend to see that the hair's always curled up. So you need the hair to straighten up in order for you to get into that good cut where you can fade. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm just trying to bring the hair down and basically uncurl it.
Yeah, so if you're someone that doesn't cut Afro-Caribbean hair, how important is it to comb it out at the start?
Very important, because if you don't comb it out, it's going to give you a tough time being able to untangle the hair and uncurl it.
And how many times should you comb it out? Should it just be once, or should we go over it a couple of times?
You should go over it a couple of times.
Yeah, very, very important. And I think I've learned that the hard way early days in my career, I can't lie. I did the haircut, combed it out, and I thought, oh, okay, we'll start again. What's your goals within this industry? You're so early on, but do you want your own shop? Do you want your own academy? Where do you want to go with it?
I want to build a brand that can impact billions.
With what though? Politically, ethically, with just haircuts, with fashion?
Creating a service and bringing and implementing some sort of system that can re-innovate the whole barbering industry. What that is, I don't know just yet. That's what my mind is on.
You're not going to get there, mate. I know this. You want a job? Hey, do you want a job? Come back with us. Our clients will love you. How old are you? 24.
So you've been alive as long as I've been cutting hair, and I promise you I was not 24.
Yeah, our first time cutting hair, we were on stage and we weren't there. We were drunk. You could get drunk then, not anymore. Professional. So have you had any challenging clients in your time? Anyone that's not been happy with the haircut?
Of course, I've had clients, and I think it's a good thing, because they've helped me understand maybe it's not time yet for me to move up in certain areas. So I've had clients maybe a bit fussy, where I had to understand maybe I need to have a bit more understanding on that kind of hair type. So I have had some challenges, but I just take them as a learning curve.
No one would ever shout at you. No one would ever shout.
Who could be mean to you? No, but I think that's the right way to go about it. It'd be very easy to get in your own head and self-criticise, but I think, yeah, using that as ammunition for progression is definitely the key. So what are your plans for your future? Obviously, you're here on stage now. I know you want to build an empire. You want to create something beautiful, but short term, are we looking at doing photo shoots? Are we looking at more stage work? Are you hoping to connect with other barbers today?
Yeah, short term, I'm trying to connect and network myself as much as possible and learn with others and find like-minded individuals where we can talk about stuff and maybe see what there is and the possibilities.
What would be your dream brand to work with?
That's a very good question. I know about Andy's, I know about Wolves, I know about the whole, even Badness. But honestly, I'd be grateful to work with whatever. I don't really necessarily have too much of a preference, as I think they're all great, leading, innovating brands.
I think the thing with you is I can tell that you're very much someone who lives in the moment and you're embracing this right now, aren't you?
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Love that. In your shop, are you appointment based or walk-in?
We are a mix of both, fortunately enough.
What do you tend to operate more from?
I operate off the minute of both walk-ins and appointments and bookings.
And is your shop pretty central? Is it in the middle of a town centre, or do people have to come out of their way to get to you?
It's quite located close to the centre, so people kind of, once they hear about the centre, they kind of know how to find us, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, nice. Are you upset that you missed those times of the mad busy barber shops and, you know, it did create a real culture, or do you not feel like you've missed out on anything with that?
I think I have missed out, to be honest, but at the same time, I think the future always holds something good. So we sometimes have to learn to adapt, and sometimes the bad can be the good.
100%. And do you feel like your generation of barber, the new ones coming through, are you getting a lot of your education from TikTok, or is that just something us old people tell us?
No, we definitely are. Again, social media is playing a massive importance in today's growth in terms of education as well as other things as entertainment. But I would say, yeah, definitely, we are learning things off the funny TikTok, if you want to call it that.
And do you find that sitting through those 90-second videos are a lot easier than sitting through a whole half-an-hour tutorial? Or are you still able to do that?
Fortunately for myself, I can do both, because I'm coming from an era where I came up from doing that, so I've kind of got the best of both worlds in understanding and adapting.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that is something that I've had to work on, sitting through the half-an-hour video. There is so important that you do, because you gain so much, but it is hard on the brain. But I do feel like we're forging a lot of new opportunity for young barbers. How did you get your place today? Did you go and ask for it?
Could you repeat that question?
How did you get your place here on stage today? Did you go out there and just ask for it, or did it come to you?
It came to me, fortunately, from Air Force One.
But you are someone, I'm guessing, that would go out there and ask. So if you're a young person in the industry, just go to the people and say what you want, innit?
For sure, I guess trying never hurts, does it?
100% agree with that. Do you have any women working in your shop? Have you got any female barbers working in your shop?
No, we don't at the moment, but we did previously in terms of the come-ups and the previous workers, the previous employees.
Ah, nice. So you're open to the demographic of having women in your shop. That's good. That's what we like to hear, right audience? So do you want to tell us what you're doing now? I'm going to hand you the mic over, and I just want you to explain where we're up to now so that the audience can make sense of it.
Yeah, perfect. So I just finished trying to do some detailing work in terms of the lineup. So right now I'm just trying to just go over a few edges. I just sprayed the beard a little on the ends, on the tips. So I'm trying to clean up some excess areas on the skin. Any hairs that may be ingrown that I didn't really get to clean out in the beginning, or I was creating my bald line. So I'm just trying to just go over those small areas, clean up the little areas, the little hairs. You know, so I'm just working my way around that there right now. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, to be honest.
And I can see that you haven't used a foil in this haircut. Is there a particular reason for that?
Yeah, I've noticed that on a lot of Black Caribbean Afro kind of hair types, their skin doesn't really react too well with foil shavers. It kind of tends to lead them with bumps, so I tend to kind of avoid it.
Yeah, I have experienced that.
How would you deal with bumps if they were to arise on your client's skin? What would you recommend?
What I would recommend is if they could go to their local GP and if they could do some antiseptic cream. But I am not in any order medical consultant, but I would recommend them to go check it out at their nearest GP.
Great answer.
Yeah, really good answer. And you do see it a lot, especially, you know, if you're not cleaning your tools, which I can see you do, you clean your tools, you've got your barber side there. How important is cleanliness in your barber shop?
Very massively important, because without a clean, hygienic barber shop, we're at risk. The whole business is at risk. our customers are at risk, even ourselves are at risk. So we take this very seriously. I think this is very important.
Yeah, no one wants to sit in someone's chair and see someone else's hair all over their clipper, and I do think that is paramount, and goes back to what Hannah said earlier about regulation within our industry and how crucial it is. Do you see the trends changed often within Afro-Caribbean hair, or is it that it is a solid, good skin fade, good line-up, or do you see the trends change with the way people want their hair, the length?
I think definitely. I think there has been a change, and there still is an existing change. I see Afro clients going for mullets now, rather than just skin fades and the tapers. So there is massively a huge growing variations of styles that they're trying out today.
Yeah, I think a mullet on Afro-Caribbean hair just looks, when it pops and you get that fade, nice, perfect. Right, we're in our last minute or two, guys, so if we're finessing the haircut, getting the hair off the client so we can present your amazing work. Is there anyone you're looking forward to seeing today?
Well, everyone, to be honest. I don't necessarily have anyone in particular. I'm just very, very happy to be here, and I just want to seize the opportunity and see who I can meet and care for.
There's nothing like your first ever Barber Connect, man. You realise, like, your passion, other people share it and you're not alone in the world, because sometimes you think, oh my god, am I just obsessed with this job? But here you are with us all obsessed. Just remove the gown and we'll stand him to the front and you can talk us through what you did, step by step. Over to the master!
Thank you. So what I did today was what we call a mid-skin fade. The mid-skin fade started off with me creating my broad line, where I closed the lever all the way. I went around the hair, making from this point, from just about this point here, all around. After I made a zero line, I then went in by debulking a little with a 1, but then I started off with a 0.5. So I went 0.5 all around. Everything I was doing, by the way, was all around the hair. I kept it consistent and continuous in my motion of cutting. So after the 0.5, I then took a 1 guard, put it on my clipper, and then went and proceeded to make a level 1 gradient on top of the 0.5. After I did that now, I went and I saw the hair, there were bits of hair, there was a line between the 0.5 and the 1. Now I got my half guard open first to blend that line, get rid of that line. Then I closed it. I did the same thing all around until that line was gone. And then at the end, what I did to finish the hair was just remove the small the small hairs that were a bit overgrown that I wanted to keep down, flatten down a little. So I proceeded in getting my 1.5 guard, because what the client wanted originally was a 2 on top, and his hair was already a 2 on top. So I kind of just made sure it was all blended and settled together. And then after that, I consisted with making a line up all around the head and the beard, as you can see. And yeah, that's my client quite happy, I think.
Smashed it. Well done, mate.
Do you want to tell us what you've done on your model, Hannah?
Okay, so because I can't cut and talk at the same time, I have run out.
I suppose just when we just get a little 360, you know.
Like I say,
Brother, how do you feel?
I ain't seen it.
You haven't seen it? Oh yeah.
From what I've heard, it looks like it's good. So
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a bit hot. But yeah, man, I give thanks to the Most High.
As always, man. Well done, man. Keep it up, man.
amazing. Came through, man. Came through. Thank you.